right, guys, so here's the $89 Harbor Freight DIY wheel balancer. So I've been looking on YouTube and this, I don't, for whatever reason, this popped up. I think Motion Raceworks did a video on this, and I decided, you know what? I do get a little vibration on this thing going down the track because the wheels aren't balanced. None of them are balanced at all. So if you watch some of my videos, like in the past, you'll see the wheel kind of shaking just a little bit, especially when you get into like the 80, 90 to 100. And then it seems to kind of smoothen out after that. So it does have like a 70 to 80 mile an hour shake. So I'm hoping maybe I can get it balanced a little bit with that. I don't know, we'll see. I'm gonna do both the front and the rear and see how it goes. I just, like if you took like wheels like this that are lug centric, when you take these to a tire shop, they kind of look at you like you're crazy. They don't know what to do with these things because you have to have an adapter in order to balance them properly. Because obviously, because they're lug centric, they're not hub centric. So I don't know. I've never ever actually balanced a drag wheel in all the drag racing years I've done. So, you know, we'll try it out. I mean, you know, 89 bucks. I don't know. You can't really go wrong. But I also saw a couple people putting lasers in here instead of using the bubble. Apparently, that's a lot more accurate. You do a laser, you take this out, you adapt a laser in there, and then you aim it at the ceiling and you put like a piece of tape there. And I guess it's a lot more accurate, but I'm not gonna really go in, you know, I'm not gonna try and do that. So, all right, so let me get the wheel off and let's put it on here and let's actually see if it's off. The first thing you do, obviously when you take it out of the box, you know, you put it on there and then you adjust these screws, these 3 screws, until you get the bubble in the middle. Okay, and then you can spin it and just kind of see if the bubble stays in the middle. And it actually doesn't matter if you're on level ground or not. It like self-centers itself. There's a, if you take this off, there's like a carbide tip point right there that it sits on. It's really sharp. And then there's like a metal piece in there that rides in, okay? So like I said, it's all self-centering. You just kind of put it on there, find that spot right there, and then adjust these so you get the bubble in the center. Then once you put your wheel on, you're gonna see where it's off. So let me pull the wheel off and we'll stick it on there and let's see what it looks like. All right, so it's got this like machined cone and it kind of locates on this centerpiece here. So yeah, you can see how far it's off. Hopefully you all can see the bubble is over here. And you can kind of do this a couple times to get if the bubble is like stuck. Okay, so it looks like we need some, well, on this side actually, some weight over here. So just pushing on them a little bit, I can get it to center. So I went ahead and a couple days ago, I ordered some weights from Summit. Where did I put the, oh, here they are. Yeah, these are just super cheap. They're like $5 for a pack. Okay, and they come in 1/4 ounce and they're the stick-on style weights. So yeah, so let me take this out and I'll put a couple weights just on the rim and kind of see where it balances. And then, I mean, this is pretty easy, nothing really to it. You just put the weights wherever the bubble gets centered is where you're gonna put the weights. So most likely in this area here. All right, so it actually needs quite a bit of weight. Whatever this is, these are 1/4 ounce weights. And in order to get the bubble in the center, there, that's probably blurry, but hopefully you guys can see it. I had to use 2 strips. Good thing I bought a bunch of these weights. I bought 1, 2, 3, I bought 4 packs, so I have plenty of weight. Seems like a lot of weight, but you know, it actually doesn't surprise me because these Mickey Thompson wheels and tires are like, I heard what you got to do. Well, not got to, but I heard what people do is they'll actually mount it and then check it. And then if it doesn't balance, you know, if it's not that close, they'll debeat it and then shift it, you know, turn it like 180 or, you know, turn it 90 degrees, try it again. If that's not good, you know, just keep rotating the tire and remounting it until you get it close. Then you wouldn't have to use so much weight, but you know, I'm not going to go through the hassle of unmounting this tire and trying to spin it and just keep trying it over and over until I get it. And it could be the tire, it could be the rim, who knows. All right, so I didn't end up needing all those weights. I don't know if you can see them in there. One whole strip and then 5 more, 1/4 ounce. So we're probably looking at 1, 2, 3, 4 1/4 ounces, about a little over 4 ounces to get it balanced. And it's right in the center now. So, okay, so this is the passenger side and it's not as near as bad. So I don't know if you can see it or not, but it's just touching the line. So this wheel is actually not that bad. I went ahead and just marked the rim with a Sharpie, kind of where it's gonna go, the weight. And you can see I just barely touching it and it brings the bubble back. So, but anyway, I'm not gonna bore you guys with all the sticking weights on and everything like that. So, I mean, we won't really know until we get it to the track and feel the vibration. So it's hard to say. I've just never, in the past racing, I've never worried about it. It's just not that big of a deal. I mean, I guess the faster you go, though, I guess you do want it balanced. I guess I've never been fast enough to worry about it. But anyway, that's that. And also I wanted to go over a few other things too. The parts are starting to gather for the 2J build, okay? Still working on porting the head. Well, not necessarily porting it, but just cleaning it up, taking down the short turn a little bit, and then just using these rolls here to go through, get all the carbon and then all the casting flash. So not even like a stage 1 port, if you want to even call it that. So I've only got the first 2 done and I got obviously 4 more to go. So, but we did find the pistons I want to go with. These are Wiseco. These are going to be 9.5 to 1 compression. So you pretty much with 9.5 to 1 compression, you don't really want to use pump gas. I don't. I use just straight E85, and then probably I'm going to be using more of like a race E85 once I get this built, like the 1 ethanol or whatever. It's much more consistent. Like when I go to the pump and get the E85, when I had the flex fuel sensor set up, it was actually between like 65% and 75% ethanol. That's what the gauge was telling me. So I don't know, it's not consistent. So when you start making more power, you want it to be more consistent. So anyway, let's check these pistons out. These things they're like jewelry. I mean, they're so nice. I already took one out, but I'll show you guys. So these are 86.5 millimeters, so a 0.5 millimeter over, and they are 9.5 to 1, actually 9.6 to 1. This is the part number right here. So I picked these up from Jay over there at Real Street. Man, the shipping, those guys ship so fast. I ordered it and I got it in 2 days. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. So these have like a bronze coating, okay? So I don't know if you can tell or not, but it has, obviously it has the skirt wear coating here. These are asymmetrical pistons, so what that means is basically you have one side's thinner than the other, okay? So what that does is, I guess when the piston's going up and down, it puts more force on one side than the other. So in order to reduce drag, they just thinned out one side. And these are going to be directional. I believe the dot goes towards the front, okay? So obviously on the power stroke, this is probably going to go down and tilt a little bit this way, which it has a bigger pad here. Now, don't quote me 100% on this. This is what the research I've done, and this is what I understand. So, yeah, these all, like I said, these also have some other type of coating too. I'm not 100% sure what it is, but if you see it, it's not aluminum. It's more of like a bronze color, the whole piston. So yeah, I mean, the machining is absolutely incredible on these. It's so nice. So yeah, I've dealt with Wiseco pistons in the past, but not on a car. I used to have a jet ski an old school Kawasaki 550 jet ski, and I used to always run Wiseco pistons. So they've been around forever. But anyway, yeah, so we got that. It comes with the rings and all that. It comes with the little spiral locks. I guess you don't call those spiral locks. Those are just little circlips. Rings, like I already said, 86.5. So this will all go to the machine shop. The rods, the pistons, the crank, and all that. So hopefully they can set it up for me, set the bearing clearances, and you know, get the bore correct for those pistons. I believe in the bottom here there's a sheet. I don't really want to take it out. Let me see if I can get at it. Right down in here. And that's gonna probably have all the info on it for piston to wall, which the machine shop, they'll take care of that. So, but yeah, I just wanted to show you guys the pistons. They look really good. I guess there's the part number 2. So we have a few more things to get. I don't plan on I was going to reuse the valves, but I decided that I don't want to chance it. I can get valves, the GSC valves. You can get them for like, I don't know, like $300-400 for a whole set. So I just don't want to chance breaking a valve and destroying the motor. Okay, so moving on from that. So the other day I was messing around trying to get my alignment correct on the front wheels, because I never really did like a proper alignment. There's a way I do it. I use a string that I run a string from the front to the back, or I'm sorry, from the back to the front, and you get the string really tight, and you kind of just get it lined up on your wheel. And then you can take measurements up front and see where your alignment is, okay? So I was doing that the other day, and I noticed something strange. This side over here was much further away. So the rear end was much further away from the wheel than on this side. So I thought that my rear end was shifted over this way, okay? So I'm looking at all the suspension points, and I'm taking measurements back here, and I even adjusted it a little bit, but I just couldn't get it anywhere near close. Like, it was off a lot, okay? So at that point, I knew something else was wrong, okay? So this side over here, I went ahead and took like a straight edge, came off of the diff cover, and took some measurements of the axle tube, okay? And I found that the axle tube's bent, okay? So what's happening is the reason it's so far off up here, you know, meaning this wheel seems like it's further in, is because it's not because it's further in, it's because this axle is actually towed out a little bit, okay? So when I ran my string from the back to the front, it was basically pointing like out here, like at an angle like this, okay? And this one actually is slightly too, but not as bad, okay? It's not as bad as this side over here. So that's what it is. The axle's bent, okay? So what I need to do is I need to put these 9-inch ends on that I have. A guy sent me these a few months ago. I think his name's Jay. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, he sent me these for a really good deal. I got the 9-inch ends, I got the bearings. So I haven't done that yet. And since it's bent, it needs to be done. So I went ahead and ordered I'm gonna go ahead and do it myself. I ordered the rod that you need, okay? It's like a ground rod that's really straight. And I'm just gonna make some. I got these little aluminum pucks here, and I have some more here that I'm basically just gonna make some pucks to put in the diff, and then I'll chuck them up in the lathe and bore a hole for the rod, and then these will align, you know, I'll align it with however I need to, you know. I'll just take this down. Actually, I think it's not that one, this one here. There we go. So I'll cut this off and bore a hole in it so that I can use it as an alignment jig. And also you need four. You need two for where the diff goes, and then obviously you need two to go in your ends here. And then yeah, we'll see how bad the axles are bent. We'll probably have to put a torch on it, maybe with a hammer, and see if we can get it close. I know you don't have to get them perfect. I know, like the last one I had done, I had somebody else do it. They actually just, and I wasn't that happy about it either. They actually just went ahead and mounted the ends offset. So they left the tube bent, but they put the, they welded this on like offset so that it was in line with the rear, with the diff. So, but anyway, I'm gonna try and get it straight, you know, and see how that goes. But yeah, so that's where I'm at. I got those 3 projects going right now. I never would have found that bent rear end unless I was trying to do the alignment up front. Because when I get it all set and all done, I'll come back and show you guys how I do the alignment. It's really simple. You're running a string off the back. So you have to kind of assume that your rear end is square in the car, and you run a string and you get it really tight, okay? So that you know you're parallel with the rear end to the front wheels, and then you just take measurements from flat spots, you know, from here to here, and you can really dial in your toe really good. Before the rear end was bent and before I did the caster camber plates, I had it so good I could just take the hands off the wheel and the thing would go straight down the road. So it does work really good, and I'll show you guys how to do it when the time comes. But anyway, that's just a little update I wanted to share with you guys. And I don't know when we'll get back to the track because like I said, I'm waiting for that bar. I have to order some different axles because these are 9-inch ends, and these are basically stock stuff right here. Everything's stock. I haven't done anything to the rear end. So anyway, that's gonna do it, guys. Check you out later.